play equipment and stuff like that, which has all been dumped over the fences of the houses along that road. But there is still a lot of groundwork there that needs moving, and they would not have the facility to do that because there is too much to do. And that's why I went back to Maidencroft and spoke to them about what work they could do to get it in an acceptable state. Because although they've cleared everything, there are some areas there which still need removal, and would need removal before any project like this could be undertaken. And the other suggestion they did make out on the day was about securing the site, because at the moment any vehicle can drive in there and just fly tip whatever they want. There's no fence, there's no gate, there's no nothing to stop anything like that happening. And although they put in a quote for that, I think something does need to be done to make that site, well, to prevent that happening in the future. So I don't quite know what the answer is to, the future of that site. I mean, we rent it from Central Beds. Possibly it's going to be needed for allotments in years to come if the village gets bigger, as it inevitably will. So that's another possibility with it, isn't it?
Yes, so you've got a communal orchard there.
Yeah, but there are several considerations to make with the site. So there is still some rubbish and stuff to dispose of and get rid of, which the groundsman would not be able to do. Even if we go ahead with the project, though.
Yeah, but it won't happen yet with Green Wheel because it's still just completing the master plan.
Yeah.
But it would go into the master plan for when it goes into action.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, have Maidencroft done what they were contracted?
They have. But the field does need properly ploughing, which was not in the agreement originally, to get out all the roots. They would do it as per the quote. They say it needs ploughing twice a year to contain the vegetation growth. Councillor Wenham?
Isn't this one thing that could be put into the neighbourhood planning group to explore with the village how this particular bit of land can be used?
Well, they would plan to look at every aspect of ground.
It's obviously an open area of the land that is accessible to the community that could be used for a variety of uses.
Yeah, that area where it
would
is.
seem the obvious sort of way to consult with the village about how it might be used.
That area at the top of Lyman's Road is completely derelict now, isn't it? Because there used to be some old garages up there which have been pulled down.
Yeah.
So it's just like a dead piece of the ground, really. That would need to be considered as part of the plan.
Are there any time pressures for funding and things like that with this Greenwood project?
Well, Cliff did seem quite keen on doing it, so I'll say writing it into the master plan, which is beginning to complete at the moment. So it's just if I said council
Or to get anything
agreed
about
with
the
it.
plans months?
Yeah, but this will be section 106 money I'm sure that will be a time limit, but not instantly needed to be used. So.
It's true. There'll be lots of work to do.
Which way does
So
it
you're
go?
going to progress your route then of that you described, you and Councillor West, of your option that you discussed in front of us.
Andy wants to say.
Just a very quick one. You brought up a valid point about it possibly being used in the future. If we have something done under the Green Wheel, is it then set in stone that will be forever onwards?
Well, if it's
An orchard. That would be one concern, that if, in the future it was needed for something else, whether it could actually be then changed its use. Unfortunately the tree's taken out. It's just a question that I think might need to be asked.
It would need to be asked, but I don't know.
I think it'll be very hard to get its use changed if Central Beds have
They
invested money.
put money
make it
into the
hard,
tree.
Yeah,
which
that's
is one of the reasons I suggested we should go into the neighbourhood planning process.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
would it not be possible to have part of it for the orchard with seats and etc. to gain accessibility for people within the community so they can use it properly, and have other part as allotments, so the allotments go spread on, because the funding streams I've been told to apply for, I can't apply for until they've brought their new forms out, okay, and I'll bring them into the office before I do anything there, so it's just a case of waiting for the new forms to be sent out and then going up accordingly, but the pot is what we call restricted, and one of the pots covers quite a large chunk within North Herts, the other one covers a large chunk within Central Beds, and another one covers a large chunk from Arlesey all the way through to Milton Keynes and Northampton. So, but we have to show that it's going to benefit the people that they represent, above and beyond anybody else's project within the area. So it's not going to be guaranteed funding at all. It is just purely simply you put a proposal together and you turn around and say, I'd like to have a community orchard, even if it's 40 trees.
I think you've got a good point. I think it should be, you should look at dividing it up into, you know, some allotment extra space, because it is a very big piece of ground, and probably too big for an orchard.
And can I have council's consent to try and get the forms and fill them out and bring them down to the assistant clerk before sending them off?
Yeah. What does the council think about that? We're approving that?
I mean, we're not committing ourselves to anything, so there's no problem there.
Just go ahead with that, David.
Okay.
So should I say to Cliff Andrews possibility of a smaller orchard?
Yeah, I think so.
Smaller orchard.
Because at the end of the day, more space is going to be needed for allotments in the future. The one at the allotment at up near the new bridge is virtually full, as is the one at Hillary Rise anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know, more allotment space with new residents is going to be, I know it's a few years away, but it will come eventually.
So I tell, so, and if you're thinking of putting it into the neighbourhood plan, but
It's not
No.
my decision, that's for the group, but that's a suggestion I
Yeah.
make. It's a potential asset for the community, and
Yeah.
it's an opportunity to consult about how it should be used.
so shall I tell Cliff just hold fast on it and see how it goes, or shall we say we want a small community orchard, or what do people think?
Well, if we get some funding from the green wheel and the way that the green wheel's funded, it'd be better than getting nothing. So we don't know if we're pulling away from it. We will do whatever we can out of the green wheel and wherever the green wheel funding is coming from, which I believe is green infrastructure money, mainly through CBC.
I think a smaller orchard rather than one that encompasses the whole area. Is
Right,
maybe
but
too big.
from the green,
Yeah.
to go into the green wheel master plan
But obviously that needs to tie in with
with the
neighbour plan as well,
neighbourhood
doesn't it?
plan, yeah.
And any ideas that group might have on that area of the village.
I'm slightly confused, Nick. If we rent the land from Central Beds
Yeah.
Council,
Yeah.
surely we've got to ask them if we do anything to it, because it's their land.
Is there a vote for that?
Yes, I mean, it depends on how it's leased, but it's very likely Central Beds will want to stay in that land. But if it's a piece of land and it's being used by the community, then it's likely they will be open to.
I know it's likely, but you need to approach them in the first instance.
I think that was suggested at the last meeting that, you know, out of courtesy, we did contact them and say.
Yeah, when we finally decided what we are going to do, we would have to consult with it. I mean, we've had it, how long have we rented that piece of land? Well over 10 years.
Mr. Chair, can we suspend standing orders for a moment, please?
Council approve? Okay.
Hugh, how long have we rented that piece of land, please?
Well over 10 years, about 15 I think.
And all it's
But
been
as I
is
said, the whole area was designated for an allotment. And it is found that the allotment was the ground was too large for allotments, and at a particular time so we halved it, and that's why it created some. So it's already got agreement that it would be used for allotment.
It's just the orchard bit, but I don't think it'll be a problem.
It's cultivated.
Yeah.
Was anybody else going to say on that point while we're suspended? No. Mr.
Okay.
Chair, can I propose that we reinstate standing orders, please?
So yeah, carry on your line of your avenue of inquiry over that. Right. Cemetery, to receive a report from Councillor Holloway regarding the lockable manhole cover over the pump at the cemetery.
Yeah.
You've been busy this month.
Done in an email. So basically the question was whether, someone had, I think one of the persons queried whether we needed to put some sort of security on the manhole cover. And it was then questioned whether we put that part of the bill of works, but it wasn't. We hadn't asked for a lockable manhole cover. What I got back from the consultants was that the manhole cover needs a particular device, it's like a keyed lifting device to lift it, and that they were cast iron rather than tin or sheet metal in construction. I don't know, this has been suggested. So the answers are: one, no, we didn't request that when we ordered up the works, and two, the consultant is suggesting that we might not need it. So I think if we are going to do anything about this, we may want to do a risk assessment on whether someone's likely to lift that manhole cover, because the concern was that it's about an 8-foot drop into the pump chamber. Should the council be so inclined, I guess we should do a risk assessment, and if we decide there is sufficient risk, then we invest in a lockable manhole cover.
Do we know what other cemeteries have done where they've installed the same
No,
piece of equipment?
no, sorry, not my gig.
I would have thought though, if it's
I don't know.
something they've only just done, it would be obviously.
Well, Justin came back and said
requirements, yeah.
that, look, it's got a special
Yeah.
keyhole thing you have to lift it out with. So anyone that went equipped with that intended to go through that hole, I think is the reasoning. And if they go through it faster than they should, and it takes longer to stop than they should, I'm not quite sure how far our responsibility goes. Risk assessment.
Councillor White.
Would it be wise, having worked with Andrew, just to find out whether they have installed what they've said, a heavy manhole, as opposed to one you can lift with your fingers? Give him a...
Yeah, I think, have you spoken about this?
Yeah, but he didn't say whether you need keys and how heavy.
Because normally they're circular bars with like
That's it.
two arms coming off, and you put them in and you turn them, locks them in place,
Yeah.
and you lift them out. Normally the cast iron ones, if they're a reasonable size, it takes two of you to lift it.
Yeah.
So, as for children going down there, unless they're these pressed steel ones with the little finger lift up parts, then I have my doubts whether they're going to get in there.
I think his concern was if the cover went missing by other.
You've been sold for scrap or something like that.
Yeah.
But
And then
is it within the gated area?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not out in the car park.
No.
Chances of people actually pinching it. Well,
They-
then again, they got the generator, so I won't say anything else.
We'll not just do a risk assessment and then decide.
Who will be qualified to carry out a risk assessment? We'll be able to get Cemetery Development Services to do that for us. Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure he will, yes.
I think we need to speak to him and see if we can carry out that task.
I can do that if you wish.
As to I don't know how much it will cost as well.
I'll find out. Would you like me to do that?
Just to sort of cover back through it. Yeah. Happy with that?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, West Drive 19, to receive an update from Councillor Clapham again on the lighting at West Drive. Councillor Clapham, over to you.
I had an email from David Neverington, which I did send around, saying additional monies have recently been made available for me to spend, predominantly for the proposed new lighting. The works using these monies needs to be ordered by the end of March and completed as soon as possible after that. Given that we are still awaiting prices for the lower level lighting, I intend to use this new pot of money on the lighting along the 370 metre section of West Drive from Arlesey High Street to the care home. If you're happy with this suggestion, I will organise the necessary instructions to the chosen contractor. I actually emailed him back because I thought, oh, goody, goody, let's get it done. I said, dear David, many thanks for the good news. I believe I speak on behalf of ATC and myself in saying, yes, please do go ahead with instructing the chosen contractor. But then I thought we better make sure it's official through the council and that everyone, I can't see anybody disagreeing with it, but if there is anyone that...
Have we heard back from him?
Not yet, but it would be nice just for me to say the council says, yes, thank you, please do go ahead.
Right.
Because
Does this include the removal of the old street lights as well?
they've gone, I think.
They've gone,
Last time I walked down, I didn't see them.
May I join your, I mean, yes, let's take the motion and properly sanction it, but this is work that we said we wanted anyway, from the 106 money. Do you remember that meeting we went to?
Yeah.
We were promised this work, that they'd have to find other money, a little worry going forward. Note to the councillors for next May, make sure we get everything in right. So we sort of sanctioned it
Yeah,
for 18 months ago.
yes.
So we're just reaffirming what the council.
Yeah, so just reiterate that it's a council resolution.
Right, and I can find out how far he's got with
Yeah,
installing the lighting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well done. Good work.
Thank you, councillor Clammer.
You worked on it as well?
Agenda item 20 is annual town meeting issues. To consider issues raised at the annual town meeting. Now the clerks made a note of some of the other issues and will outline the resolutions.
There was a resident who raised several issues about fly tipping and dustbins on paths, and she did write in with her concerns, which we have contacted Central Bedfordshire about the fly tipping and the dustbins on the paths and the Hitchin Road area that had gravel on it. They couldn't find any tarmacking, any fly tipping. When they went to check the dustbins, there weren't any on the paths. The stretch of Hitchin Road, they can't always clean because there's a lot of parked cars along that stretch. The whole of Hitchin Road was litter picked on the 20th of March and at the end of February and was due to be cleaned again in April. So that was that one. We had an issue about one of the locks in the toilet, ladies' toilet, which has been fixed, although I've subsequently been told there is another problem with another one, which the groundsman's going to deal with. No dog signs were put up at the Muga. There was one issue whether the receipts had been received for the Arlesey Remembers You. I'm still waiting for those receipts.
Oh, that's one there. Sorry, hold it there. That'll be me then, will it?
Yeah. I don't know if I've missed any. If any councillors that were present can remember any that we were going to deal with.
There was another one raised about the use of call for dogs. We have contacted the applicant for that particular exercise, and as yet they've not got back.
No, I said there'd been approval for 4 weeks trial, but they haven't got back to me yet. No.
So we don't know what's going on there. Okay. Bank mandate 21, to consider possible issues with the bank mandate after the May election. That is if all the people who have a bank mandate are not re-elected. So the resolution, Acting Clerk, is
This will arise if none of the signatories get elected back onto the council. So the bank mandate goes to the first meeting of the council after the May elections, but it does normally take 3 to 4 months for any bank mandate to go through. But obviously you'll have invoices and staff salaries to pay, so have you got a workaround solution basically?
the only solution I can think of is that those that currently have, that are an accepted signatory, even if they may not be on the council, will be given the authority to sign cheques in an interim period until new members could be authorised to do so. That's the end of the matter, isn't it?
I thinking about this. There is an alternative in the it's paid on the worry, isn't it?
It's everything, because all our anything we purchase for the neighbourhood plan, for example, wouldn't be able to be paid by cheque.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Anything we pay by cheque.
Just about anything, Mick.
Yeah, okay.
So as a council, we'd have to make a decision to allow that to happen. If that was the, I mean, that would be the worst case scenario, wouldn't it?
Well, there's nothing wrong in terms of the integrity of the people involved, but is the bank going to allow us? Have they got to be acting councillors?
The bank mandate that's in force at the moment is in force until
It's cancelled. So basically,
By a
it
new
would
one.
continue even if they weren't
So
councillors.
it's the individual, not the individual as a councillor.
I mean, it is actually accentuated because normally we normally have the clerk and the assistant clerk can also sign checks. Of course, now there's myself at the moment.
Is what you suggest legal?
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it.
I mean, I did speak to the internal auditor because she left Potton Town Council, but she was still a signatory for about 3 months, 3 or 4 months, and they didn't bring a chequebook round to her.
Okay, you're all right with that, just in case that is what happens.
Might not happen.
Julie, did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I wasn't sure. All right, minutes from committees. To receive any minutes from the following committees. Environmental, which you have. Property and GPM finance. Okay, with those? Yep. Any questions to myself?
Yes, Mr. Chair, and I'm fully aware that some of the questions I'm going to ask, you're going to say to me, the answer comes underneath pink paper, but the question I can ask you, because it may not be, and it's not covered, because the question itself is not covered by pink paper, okay, unless of course you decide otherwise, okay? No. Right, can you please tell me the name of the trade union that this organisation recognises?
We don't have an answer to that.
Can you please tell me...
No, well, I
No,
don't have an
I was asked
answer
to
to
repeat
that.
the question. Can you please tell me the name of the trade union that this council recognises?
I don't know.
You
Okay.
don't have to.
I don't know whether we have to. I don't know enough about that one, Dave, but
Okay.
you only raised it just now. So.
Okay, right, yeah. The next one. Under UK employment law, can you tell me how long a member of staff has to be in post before they get an employment contract?
Because I'm on mastermind now. 8 weeks.
So,
Ideally 8 weeks, but it's not law that they have to have a written contract.
okay. Right. Holiday staff. Okay, staff may not be able to take their holidays because there is no cover for Saturdays or for the caretaker. Can we please arrange somebody to come and do
Yeah,
that?
the answer to that would be to utilise the resources that we've still got, that we've got within the people employed. So therefore, an example would be that Janet would need to have some training on the library service, so that when the librarian or the manager of the resource centre went on holiday, there was some cover provided.
Okay, and what about the caretaker?
Similarly, the caretaker situation would be a bit more difficult, wouldn't it?
No, it wouldn't, because I've got the other keys, so as the key.
Oh, sorry, you mean that caretaker? Oh, caretaker of the building.
The hall,
Right,
if
okay.
she's away, then if I am
So
able.
Councillor Frost will fulfil that function.
Okay. Underneath the Health and Safety at Work Act and other acts, okay, it says that staff should be trained to use any machinery that they are asked to use during their job, okay? Can you tell me why some staff are using machinery that they are not trained to use?
That's correct. Can you just give an example of
Right, I'm actually going to give you an example here, okay? Push lawn mower, sit on ride lawn mower, hedge clippers, they are supposed to have certificates qualifying them to use that.
We were told they did. When we bought that lawnmower, we were assured.
If you look in the office, you'll see the opening certificate.
David, Leslie's going to answer. Hang on a second.
I think you'll find Andrew has been trained.
Well, he was telling me he's only got the strimmer certificate that's actually displayed in the office. Right?
That's not what he told us when we've got.
Okay, well, can we please make sure that...
Well, we need to do a check of that authorisation, don't we? Of training.
Yeah, we do.
Can I just get some clarification
This is accepted
here?
minutes, this
I
agenda.
thought we set up a human resource committee that deal with all the staff. And I don't believe actually, Councillor West, that you're on that committee.
Yes, I am, but I've not been rejected from it.
No, Councillor West is on it, Councillor Infantry, isn't he?
Yes, but he's gone off on a tangent.
I know, I'm not. I'm asking
Was that
questions.
brought to the group and discussed?
I'm asking questions to the chairman, okay? I'm not asking questions for anything else. I'm
You
asking...
have just
Councillor West.
informed council that you have spoken to one of the council employees.
Yes, I have. I've spoken more than one.
But I'm sorry, but that wasn't discussed at a group meeting of the human resource.
No.
When are you going to start to follow the correct
Okay,
procedures?
when are you going to bring your stuff up to health and safety standards? For example, your blinds do not bring British safety standards in the library because they have the old blind cords. Okay?
Councillor West, Councillor Infantry, can we just...
Yeah, I'm asking the
questions.
I've got, as I told and said to you, Mr. Chair, okay, right, there are quite a few issues, okay? Other one is the fire extinguisher which should come into the resource centre is actually obstructed by a notice board. The blinds do not meet the appropriate standard because they have the old blind cords which go round in a loop.
Okay,
And
well, these things should be dealt with by the resource centre manager, aren't they?
Questions of the
Yeah,
chair.
they're not exactly things
Okay.
that we should be answering, are they, really?
Councillor West, are you really qualified to pass comment on all these? And do you have a health and safety certificate?
And is there an election coming?
yes, there is an election coming. Right, yes, there is an election coming. I probably look through my qualifications. I probably have a health and safety certificate somewhere at home, but I'm not a health and safety trainer, and we've not had an health and safety audit, and we are saying that
Will you stop
Excuse
shouting
me, can
down,
I have some...
Councillor
I
West?
don't often use this gavel, but I will, for God's sake. Right.
if things are wrong, I'm sorry, if things are wrong, they need to be
Can you do it again?
identified with.
Any more questions that are pertinent to the chair?
They were pertinent to
These
the chair.
questions
At
are
the end of the
I
day,
don't think
Mr.
we've
Chair,
accepted the
you will
minutes.
find that this council is responsible under the Health and Safety at Work Act
Okay, so I think
1974.
we can quite easily deal with some of these issues that you're talking about after a little bit of
Health and safety, what day?
discussion.
1974.
Okay, any more questions? Councillor
No,
West,
I'm not. Like I said,
Councillor West, any more questions?
No.
Right. Any more questions from anybody? Councillor White?
Can I just ask a couple? Is it right if the village has got 2 polling stations? For the simple reason my polling card says the football football club.
It is, yeah.
And there was a little bit of confusion because of my involvement with the Scouts. I was told the polling station was there. Do you know?
It's here. One's here.
And one's at the football club.
So there's not one at the Scout Hub?
Not as far as I'm-
Tell
They
them
are
then.
part, they are part of our hall.
I should pass that on to them.
Any more questions? Can we move on? Excellent.
Check your cards.
Check your cards.
Councillor Clapham.
Just a small point, I'm just wondering why the dog fouling signs and the ones that say the dog